day, good day. Wait a minute. Let's let everybody trickle in. Let some people trickle in and we'll get into it. Good day, everybody. Happy Friday. There's a lot going on in the world. This war is getting out of control. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, World War III is here. I'm not excited about it, but it is what it is. It's all bad. Let's turn the tunes back up. Give some more people a little more time to trickle in. If not, we'll just hop into it. And everybody could watch the replay. Alright, I got some clips. Lined up for us to keep you updated if you're interested. I'm usually not interested in news like this, but it's like getting thrown in my face, and I guess it's pretty relevant, right? How do you... Yeah, it's World War III. It's like, imagine during World War II times, like, you had to know what was going on. Damn. Anyway, let's start this off with a brief synopsis of what's happening. This is actually a pretty good, comprehensive clip of what's going on over in the Middle East. If you don't know, if you've been living under a rock for the last week, so Israel and the U.S. struck Iran with a brutal attack. They killed their leader. They killed like the top 40 people in charge of the whole country and their defense. They killed their wives. They killed their runner-up. They're gonna do a regime change, and they accidentally killed all the people they were gonna put to replace the people they killed. So it's just all bad. And then there's a sustained attack, and the U.S. is threatening more and more death and destruction from above. Civilian targets are being hit, and Iran, of course, they're retaliating with brutal force, the likes of which, Israel and the U.S. didn't expect. You have U.S. servicemen dying overseas, who aren't even on the battlefield. They're just like in an office ready to retire. You have embassies getting bombed and invaded. I'm sure there's much more death on the U.S. side that's being reported by the news and whatnot. It's just common sense. If you see all the damage and destruction to the embassies and the bases, there is for sure a lot more casualties. And the way the White House is going about it is piss poor, dude. They have I just did a video today, like about it. This White House has absolutely no decorum, no respect for civilians, citizens across the world, the U.S. military. These guys have no respect. They just look at war like a game of personal interest. Like our government, it's been obvious for a long time, but our government is not. It's not doing things for its citizens right now. It's just funding wars and funding other private endeavors. All right. Anywho, enough of my rambling. Let's let this alleged former CIA agent say his piece. This is all, his opinion, but it's a pretty good synopsis. It lines up with what I've been seeing in real time for the last 7 days. So let's check it out. It could be this guy could be AI for all we care, for all we know. All right, let's give it a listen, shall we? Oh, and what up to the people in here? It's a busy day. I know a lot of people are streaming right now, but I gotta get it in. I gotta get it in. This war stuff it's never a dull day with this war stuff. All right, let's check it out.
There's a reason why this war with Iran feels so confusing. So let me cut right through it. My name's Adam. I used to be in the CIA, and we've been doing daily updates.
Allegedly. He could just be some random nobody or an AI. So let's take this with a grain of salt. But in my opinion, it makes a lot of sense.
On the war. Today, I'll give you the facts from the last 24 hours, but then I'm going to give you the tools to understand strategically why this war is spinning out of control. So here's what you need to know. Last night, the Iranians hit Azerbaijan's international airport. More explosions reported in Abu Dhabi. The UAE continues to be the hardest hit in the region. There's footage claiming to show Iranian ballistic missiles over Jordan. Iran hit the primary oil refinery in Bahrain, which is still on fire. And
Dude, an oil refinery. It's incalculable the damage that's being done, man. We're all gonna feel it economically like soon. So fill up your gas tanks today. I mean, I have to do that right now after the stream. I'm gonna fill up my gas tank all the way up because it's gonna be $6 a gallon in a week. Good God Almighty.
a missile struck near a U.S. naval installation. A U.S. Navy sub sank an Iranian warship off the coast of Sri Lanka. And finally, U.S. CENTCOM is requesting support for another 100 days of Iran operations. So that's what happened. Now, here's why it matters. This is no longer a contained operation between Israel, the U.S., and Iran. This is now a regional conflict involving 17 countries, and those in charge of American strategic policy are fundamentally unequipped to handle it. They've also spent the last 15 months undermining our diplomatic readiness and our relationships with global allies, both of which are necessary to prosecute this kind of war. Consider Trump fired dozens of senior career diplomats. Several strategic posts in the Middle East have been vacant for over a year. He fired more than 1,300 State Department employees, many of whom were Middle East and counterterrorism experts.
Dude.
They dismantled USAID, an agency that should be playing a critical role in navigating the conflict and post conflict environments. Kash Patel also fired a dozen agents and staff from the FBI's
Look at this piece of shit, man.
counterintelligence unit specifically tasked with monitoring threats from Iran. I know firsthand that Iran has a very capable intel service that has networks and cells all over the world. We haven't even seen those networks activated yet, but terrorism, sabotage, assassination, it's all on the table. When we stack all of this together, a bigger picture emerges, a picture of incompetence, lack of planning, and an inability to understand, even intellectually, the scale of the crisis they've created. That's why this conflict
Yeah, like I said a moment ago, it's incalculable. We can't imagine how much damage has been done. I mean, the only way, I mean, knock on wood, I don't, shit. The only way we're gonna feel it is if either economically or I pray to God they don't start sending ballistic missiles over the ocean. But like that's our only, the ocean is our only savior right now. If we weren't across a giant ocean, I'm sure the US would have been hit hard by now. I mean, look at this, man. It's
is spinning out of control, and this is where our alliances will be critical. Right now, the European allies are hesitantly supporting us. The French sent fighter jets, the Dutch sent warships, even the Ukrainians, they're sending drone teams. All of this despite repeated disrespect from the Trump administration over the last year. Because even if our leaders don't understand it, our allies do. They recognize this moment is critical and they are attempting to protect, stabilize, and de escalate. On the other hand, Trump, Hegseth, Rubio, Noam Patel, all of them, they failed in their duty to act in the best interest of the American people. In only 5 short days, they unilaterally committed us to a massive regional war. This dwarfs Iraq or Afghanistan in complexity and in scale. And when we look at who's in command, who's making decisions, and who's working with our allies, we see a team of Fox News hosts, podcasters, Nepo babies, billionaires, and Mar a Lago influencers. And in charge of all of them, at the head of the table, is a calloused and diminished president who spent more time with Jeffrey Epstein than he did planning for war with Iran.
pretty much. I'm not like an anti-Trumper or nothing, but this guy's fucking up left and right. Left and right. And right and left. And then check this out. Check out more of this damage that's been done. This is on March 1st. This is like the first day of the war. All right, this is what Iran's rage looks like. The explosion flattened a school, synagogue, homes, and a bomb shelter where dozens had sought refuge. Dude, imagine seeking refuge. You think you're safe in a bomb shelter, and then you just hear big boom, shake, and you're gone. Or you just hear, that's just that's terror, man. I try to put like literally put my mind into that space, and you're just like you immediately eject yourself. You're like, oh my God, that's just awful. Reporting on Israel, Sky News discover how to describe emotively, um, discover or struggle. Anyway, how to describe emotively, vividly, and categorically. Where was this for Gaza? I mean, comparison is the thief of whatever the fuck. I almost said joy, but just absorb it. Don't compare. Everything is its own individual, distinct event. This is just as everything is just awful. Death is death by war is always awful. Like no need to compare. Oh, where was the outcry for this? Where was the outcry for that? Like, I hate that kind of talk. Like, shut up. Why even say that? Have a heart. All right,
And this
dude, look
is
at
what
this.
Iran's rage looks like. The town of Beit Shemesh, just a short drive from Jerusalem, was hit by a missile. The explosion flattened a school, a synagogue, homes, and a bomb shelter where dozens had sought refuge. At least 9 are confirmed dead.
Man, I feel like a lot of us are desensitized since 9/11 because we see images like this all the time on the news. We've seen it for years. But I don't know, to me the gravitas is like always the same. It's always it just hits me the exact same way all the time. It's like, man,
And this
what the heezy, big bruh. What the feezy heezy for sheezy. What do you got? What are your thoughts on this nonsense? And uh check this out. This is allegedly footage from the school that got hit, but I thought it was like a girls' school or something. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because if it. Uh, oh, it hit two schools. Uh, yeah, so it says it hit two schools. One was a girls' school, but this doesn't look like a girls' school, so this must be the other one, unless this is just a lie. Let me see. Let me look at the footage. 2/28/2026. I mean, apparently that's. Damn. Anyway, let's look at the footage. This could be AI, could be bullshit. Let's check it out. Obviously, the audio's fake. It's added. Good God Almighty. Dude, and you see one body right there? You see this right? Hold on a second. Dude, that's awful. Oh, that kid was running with a limp. Dude. Dude. Look, these. Oh, you see injured kids limping, trying to run. Oh, look, they see. Oh, dude. This teacher just running, mortified at this body right here. Ooh, it got dark. It's posted by someone from China. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. How did they get that CCTV footage? That's interesting. This guy has a pretty interesting take. He's a Chinese guy. I mean, obviously there's gonna be a little bit of bias, but the shit he says makes sense. It's really hard to argue with what he says. It's in subtitles, so I don't know if you're just listening audio, it might not be good to play. But
那么
if you're
今年2月28
watching,
号呢，美国以色
essentially he says, all right, the trade war failed, the tariff war failed, the tech war failed, this war will fail. Yeah, essentially he talks about how all his decisions has been horrible since he went into office, and the U.S. did not expect how powerful and organized Iran actually was because they are actually allied with China, and China they had a 25-year agreement about like military cooperation. So I mean, Iran is equipped to fight. They're not like it's not Iraq. They're not like fighting with sticks and stones. They have very advanced weapons technology and intelligence tools. So, yeah, America pretty much
列悍然
fucked up by not really thinking this through. All they had to do was go to Congress and say, hey, Iran's planning on doing this, or publicly say it. Like, man, why did they do this? Unless some news comes out that makes it all make sense later, like there was an imminent nuclear strike or something on us coming. But still, even if that's the case, the way they're going about this is it's so ugly. All right, let's go. All right, he goes on to say, uh-oh, am I about to disconnect? Uh-oh, I hope not. Stay with me. Stay with me. Oh no. Let me see. Uh, do 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 do. Uh-oh. What's going on?
作为一个
Okay.
最初的设想，然后呢，以这个斩首
All right. I'm gonna try to read it in case some of you are just listening on audio. All right. Bro, why does it keep stopping when I do that?
那么其中就是让大家感受特别深的，就是以色列和美国以这个斩首哈梅内伊作为一个最初的设想，然后呢以比较小的成本来取得这个巨大的战略上的成功，让伊朗
So for those of you just listening on audio, he essentially just said they thought they could just decapitate, the leaders and the heads, and they thought Iran would just collapse and their military would be unorganized and fail and all that stuff. And then he goes on to say, no, they had it all wrong. They had strategies, backup plans all day. That's why the counterattack is so
崩溃。
brutal.
结果作用正好像是相反。本来实际上伊朗经济非常困难，某种甚至可以说这个颜色革命几乎要成功，因为伊朗的经济是非常糟糕。那么，然后民怨沸腾，各种各样的力量，反政府的这个也不同的声音同
Yeah, so they overplayed their hand. They thought Iran was on the brink. They thought the revolutionaries were gonna take over. That's why Trump was like, "Take back your country." Rah! He was trying to start a civil war in Iran while they still had a military and like missiles and aren't like they just did a massacre on their own citizens, like what 30,000 people or something like that. That's the estimate. And then Trump's like, "Yeah, go take back your country. We just bombed them and pissed them off. Yeah, take back your country with no weapons or organization." Like this is such a Mickey Mouse war, which is turning out to just be World War III essentially, because he put the whole region in a conflict. Like the guy said, what, at least 17 countries? And now the UK is getting involved, France. I mean, it's really bad.
发出来。美国寄希望于这个颜色革命，是一种这个死亡之后呢， 实际上这反而变成是一种对他个人来讲
Yeah, they turned that, what is his name? Khamenei, the guy that they murked, their spiritual leader. They turned him into a martyr um, for the radical people in that country. I know there's a big population that hated him, but the radicalized people in that country, oh, now the guy's a martyr. They're gonna go twice as hard now.
这种殉道，他被看作是一个圣人了。
He's regarded as a saint. All
所以伊
right,
朗
this is where the Chinese propaganda comes in. He's regarded as a saint.
事实上，民族至少到目前为止，好像变得更加团结，来抵抗美国以色列的这个侵略。
All right, that's enough of him because he's obviously pro IRGC, which is, I mean, whatever. I mean, China's the America's enemy. I mean, not the citizens, but I mean, I guess the governments are fighting, right? The governments are fighting. Oh, Christy Nome, dumb, you dumb bitch. She just got fired. And then they put her in some retarded ass role called, instead of saying, yeah, we fired her for being incompetent. Oh, let me see. Let me go to her page. How do you even spell her name? Christino. Okay. Oop, Chris. There it is. Get your goofy ass out of here. Here it is. This is from Chrissy Nome, the horrible Department of Homeland Security lead who just got fired. Thank you, POTUS, right? That stands for President of the United States, for appointing me as the, get this, the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. It's the most made up ass shit I ever heard. Secretary Rubio and Secretary of War, good God, are incredible leaders, and I look forward to working with them closely to dismantle cartels that have poured drugs into our nation and killed our children and grandchildren. Dude, these disingenuous X posts are hilarious. It's crazy how much engagement they get. I didn't think that many people were on X politically. Like 37,000 people like this for real? That's gotta be botted. 37,000 people. Wait, what's her follower count? 763,000. That's a pretty crazy ratio. 7,000 comments? I bet they're all shitty. Christy Gnome shot my friend.
I hope you had the time.
Oh, copyright. You're fucking fired. Dude, seeing her talk in front of the Senate was so annoying. She's such a lying little sleazebag.
Two of them were
That's
chosen.
inaccurate, Madam Secretary. I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States. You identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll
Because
tell you
was
about
done
it.
according to
Madam
law.
Secretary,
It
the
was done by career
address is
officials.
registered to a
It
political
was
operative.
dollars that were spent
Madam Secretary, the
to
company,
inform
and then I'll
people
give you an
that the
opportunity to
laws-
respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is
don't know.
it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out.
Dude, these guys are so sloppy. All these guys have to do is follow the money, and they're like, yo, where did this go? What are you doing? Like, they're so sloppy and stupid. Oh. And then she's sitting there lying. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. And then meanwhile, she's like having affairs with like her subordinates, and dude, she lied under oath. Dude, she purged herself. So did Pam Bondi. So did Kash Patel. This whole White House is effed up, man. And I voted for this. Oh, what a letdown. First time I ever voted in my life. And then this happens. What the
You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Yes,
that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered, apparently, or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota. The reason why I ask these questions is that this is taxpayer money. And
It's my money, man.
I presume, I don't know this for a fact, but Senator Tillis noted yesterday the way in which your agency is blocking the Inspector General from 11 different investigations that it is trying to conduct. I don't know if this happens to be one of them. I certainly hope it is, because eventually the facts will become public in this regard.
Yep.
Yuppity yuppity yup 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 yup.
And this guy is replacing her. He's even douchier. Oh, we can do another video about this guy later. What's his name? Something Miller or Mueller? There's that. And now let's check out this this article that just came out. Is it today? Yeah, the 6th. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta do something after I get out of here. Ooh. Oh, I see more people trickled in. What's crack-a-lackin', everybody? What's crack-a-lackin'? All right. Last piece of news, and then I'm about to dip up out of here. I just wanted to catch up, go live, get my chops wet. Iran rejects ceasefire. So this is today at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Iran rejects ceasefire negotiations, says ready for U.S. ground invasion. Ooh, that's something the Secretary of War did not want to hear. They said, come get some. Like, I'm going to say this again. I don't like war. I'm not for it, but what the fuck? That's crazy, man. And then we have to send soldiers there. And you know how shitty the morale is going to be for those soldiers? They're going to be like, what are we doing here? Like, they fucked it up from the beginning. Like, they fucked up morale. If they're going to be sending soldiers in, they have to have. And then there are reports that there's like leadership in the military. This is all alleged, like using like God and like the Christian God. Oh, this is for God and Jesus and this and that to rally the troops. And it's just like, dude, no, you're not supposed to do that. You separate church and state. It's like that cheesy video of Donald Trump praying and in the White House, the Oval Office, and everybody's got their hand on him. Like, dude, get that out of the Oval Office. You're just as crazy as the guy they just assassinated. Like, you look like a religious zealot. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is like hypocrisy 101. Like, don't be praying in the Oval Office and then go to war saying like, oh yeah, we got to get these extremists, these religious extremists. Their religion runs the country. Meanwhile, you're doing cheesy prayers to Satan in the Oval Office. That's not a real prayer, man. You pray in silence. Like, that's all for show. It's so disrespectful to the country and to real Christians. Like, man, come on now. Come on now. All right, let's read the article. Iran. All right, Andrew Tate. Iran is prepared for a possible ground invasion by U.S. troops. The country's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi Thursday, as the war launched by the U.S. and Israel continues to escalate. Argakshi told NBC News that Iran is ready to counter American forces after U.S. President Donald Trump refused to rule out the possibility of boots on the ground earlier this week. Oh, this is pretty badass. We are waiting for them. Oh! Because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them. Oh, please, God, don't send our troops over there. Dude, if Trump... This can't happen. This can't happen. Please don't. It's gonna be like World War II when they sent those dudes on the boats to run up just to get taken down by machine guns. Was that Normandy? Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Pretty sure it is. Oh, that's D-Day. Yeah, that was in Normandy. Yeah, they stormed the beaches of Normandy. Okay, yeah. Nice. A little bit of history got stuck in my head. Excellent. So yeah, it's gonna look like D-Day when they stormed the beaches of Normandy in France. Itch. Wait, is that D-Day? Am I reading that right? Yeah, I'm right. All right, the U.S. Yeah, don't do another D-Day in 20. We don't need a D-Day in 2026. Send some drones and airplanes. I mean, you already bombed them. You're already killing civilians. Oh, just stop the war. Just stop the war. But then you're like, the U.S. did something they really can't take back, man. They started it's such a big mess. It's like a tire fire. You can't put it out. You have to just let it burn now. So much destabilization. Oil refineries are being blown up. Submarines are blowing up random Iranian ships. People can't get their oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, which does like it's apparently a fifth of the world's energy goes through that channel. That's why your gas is gonna be $8 a gallon tomorrow or next week. Hey, fill up your tanks today, everybody. Fill up your tanks today. All right, the U.S. and Israel jointly attacked Iran over the weekend, reportedly killing more than 1,000 civilians in bombings that appear to have also hit several schools. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Al-Khamenei, as well as dozens of Iranian officials, were killed in the attacks. Yep. The military campaign, which is ongoing, prompted a wave of retaliatory strikes from Iran across the Middle East. Yeah, they're spraying. They're hitting U.S. bases. They're actually, I feel like, more precise than the U.S. Reportedly hitting both U.S. military bases and civilian sites in Gulf states. Yeah, dude, they're bombing hotels. They're bombing Dubai. Like, Dubai? Who would have thought Dubai and the UAE would get bombed? Anywho, killing dozens of people, including 6 U.S. service members. Rest in peace, man. The Trump administration has signaled that the military campaign is likely to be more expensive than initially laid out. Yeah, because you overplayed your hand. They thought the first day would just cripple them like Venezuela. They thought they were gonna pull a Venezuela on Iran. Whoops. Trump told the Daily Mail on Sunday that the campaign could last around 4 weeks, even as the war appears to be unpopular with most Americans and as foreign citizens stranded in the Middle East scramble to leave the region. Man, oh man. And U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said during a Thursday briefing that the amount of firepower over Iran and over Tehran is about to surge dramatically. All right, what else did Argakchi say? He also said that Iran has not asked for a ceasefire and is not interested in negotiating with the U.S. Ooh, that's scary, man. When you have zealots ready to die, it's man, what happens when you mess with people who don't fear death? You're just like you say you start to second guess yourself whether you're just it's a one-on-one confrontation or you're leading a war. You're just like you have to just make a choice. I'm gonna let my soldiers get killed. Right? That's what Trump is doing. He thinks casualties are just numbers on a screen, and it's just part. Of course, it's part of war, but don't go to war. There's still no evidence that says we had absolutely had to go to war. They're saying it. Oh, Trump's saying, "Oh, I had a feeling that based on this information they were going to attack." That's literally his words. I had a feeling or we thought or it went from there was an imminent threat to oh, I had a feeling. Like literally I had a feeling they were going to attack, he said. More than a feeling. You gotta have more than a feeling, man. All right, we will not negotiate with the United States. We will not negotiate with terrorists. So it's like they're like mirroring us. So we're like the terrorists to them, but then they're the terrorists to us. But then the U.S. was trying to negotiate. But I thought they don't negotiate with terrorists. What about all the death and destruction? They talk tough. Dude, the U.S. right now, especially Hegseth, he's talking big shit. Oh, we have death and destruction from above. We have firepower that'll do this, and the more is coming. Meanwhile, oh please, let's have this ceasefire, huh? Iran's like, nope, you fucked up. We got home base. Sure, we can't hit America, but we can get your bases. It's terrible, terrible, terrible things. All jokes aside, very terrible. All right, we didn't ask for a ceasefire even last time. Oh, Argakshi's letting his nuts hang, referring to the 12-day war between Israel and Iran. Ooh. It was ended by Trump announcing a ceasefire. It was Israel who asked for a ceasefire. Of course they did. They asked for an unconditional ceasefire after 12 days that we resisted against their aggression. Damn, so is Israel started a war with Iran? And they said, okay, 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 uncle, uncle. And then now they're starting another one with the US. And now the US is saying, okay, 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 uncle. They're like, dude, Israel, what the fuck are you doing? Why'd you get us in it? I'm sure that's happening behind the scenes. Israel was like, yo, they got these nukes. They're gonna attack. Huh? Come on, Trump, help us out. And then Trump was like, okay, yeah, they tried to kill me. What? Okay, yeah, let's go get them. Little did he know. Little did he know. Little did he. Did he? No. All right. Iran's hardened position also reflects the fact that nuclear negotiations had in February. Wait, what? Iran's hardened position also reflects that nuclear negotiations had in February been renewed after previously being disrupted by last June's conflict, which included the bombing of Iranian nuclear facilities. Ooh, and were ongoing prior to the U.S. Israel's attacks. Let's see, what's his last piece? The fact that we don't have any positive experience of negotiating with the United States, especially with this administration. We negotiated twice last year and this year, and then in the middle of negotiations, they attacked us. Argachi said, so we see no reason why we should engage once again with those who are not honest in negotiation, and they don't and do not enter into negotiation in good faith. Damn. Again, you have to take this with a grain of salt. He could be lying, or it could be true. I mean, it's looking like it could be true, because the U.S. is some dirty dogs. We are some dirty dogs. The country has done some evil shit in the past in regards to war. Nasty and that. I mean, go do some history. The U.S. is diabolical. I see why people look at us like some imperial colonist evil regime. Like I get it. I mean, the citizens aren't, but at times, whoever's in the White House or these billionaires who have interests and lobby, I mean, it's like they said, the um, military industrial complex runs the world now. Who runs the world? Guns. Who runs the world? Oil. Who runs the world? Israel. Who runs the world? U.S. But I don't know. That might change. It might change. I hope the war ends. All jokes aside. And on that note, I think it's about time to dip because I got some errands to take care of. I got things to write. I got videos to edit. I got a workout to complete. Let's check up on X one more time. Let's see if there's anything interesting.
The U.S.
New from Quiver on the strikes on Iran.
What if I told you that the US military actions in Venezuela last month and Iran over the weekend aren't really about removing dictators or stopping nuclear weapons, but something even bigger? The system that helps support $38 trillion of US debt, the petrodollar. Stick with me. Over the weekend, Donald Trump ordered airstrikes inside Iran that reportedly killed several senior figures in the country's military leadership. Most of the coverage is focused on the political fallout inside Iran, but the bigger impact may actually be in the oil market, because Iran
For sure. I gotta fill up my gas tank right now.
isn't just a geopolitical rival, it's one of the world's major oil exporters. Before the strike, Iran was exporting roughly 1.5 to 2 million barrels of oil per day, and about 90% of that was going to China. And here's the key.
How do you expect a lot of oil, man? You hear these numbers and then you start to understand the scale of how insane that is. The type of production they're able to do in Iran. I've never thought about like Middle East as far as like how much they scale their energy production. That's insane. Almost 2 million barrels get exported a day. That's nuts.
Key detail. Much of that oil wasn't being settled through the traditional Western financial system. Iran has been cut off from SWIFT, the global banking network used for most cross-border payments. So many of those transactions happen through alternative systems or non-dollar currencies. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For decades, the global oil market has largely revolved around something called the petrodollar system. Since the 1970s, most oil around the world has been priced and traded in US dollars. That forces countries that want to buy oil to first obtain dollars. And that demand matters. Oil exporting countries accumulate those dollars and often recycle them back into U.S. assets like treasury bonds. Now that process, known as petrodollar recycling, has helped finance U.S. government borrowing. In other words, when oil is priced in dollars, it creates global demand for dollars. And global demand for dollars helps absorb U.S. debt. Now let's look at the geopolitical angle. Two of the largest oil exporters operating outside the dollar system have been Venezuela and Iran. If Venezuela ends up with a new government aligned with the West, and if Iran eventually transitions to new leadership, those oil exports could move back into the dollar system. That means oil sold in dollars, payments moving through SWIFT, and billions more flowing into dollar-denominated assets. At a time when the US government is running trillion-dollar annual deficits, that demand becomes incredibly valuable. So the real question might be not whether this is about nuclear weapons or authoritarian dictators. It might just be about the currency that underpins the global financial system.
Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, the British Empire, huh? Not Iraq 2.0. Damn. That's that's dark.
The
What is it?
bombs are falling on Tehran. The Muslim Brotherhood.
Oh no, I'm not gonna make you guys sit through that. Maybe I'll watch that on my own and report back to you. Damn, that video is
What if
crazy.
I told you that the
I gotta bookmark that for later. That's insane. All right, well, that's an interesting note to end on. Oh, I see a couple comments. Samson for president. Yeah, me for president, baby. What does it say? 8 April Samson is available on Steam. Sick game. Wait, what? 8 April Samson. What is that? What's up, Weinstein Smith? What's crackalacking? What is that? I'm gonna Google that right now. April Sampson? What the heck is that? Is that a real thing? What? Oh, I see. Samson. Oh. Is that right? Let me see. Samson returns to Tyndallston, a city that shaped him hard, pause, where every fight is close and every escape is earned. He owes dangerous people more than he can pay, and they're using his sister to force his hand. The clock is ticking. The only way out is through anyone who stands in his way. What? Single player. Steam achievements. Oh. What's the minimum processing? 16 gigs of RAM. Oh, I'm cooked. I don't think I'll be, maybe will I be able to play it? Because I just have a shitty laptop. Oop. What's this? This is the game trailer for Samson. Oh, the Tyndallston story. You know what that looks like to me? That looks like a combination of like Need for Speed and GTA. Like the way it looks and the way it looks like it plays. All right, thanks for that, Weinstein Smith. Appreciate you stopping by and commenting. I love when people comment on the live stream because it brings more life into the stream. All right, wish I could stay longer, but I do have to go. Make sure you like the stream, share, drop a comment when it's done, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm in dire straits right now. Look at this, watch them. I have 666 subscribers on YouTube. That's too evil, man. I need at least one more or someone needs to unsubscribe because I don't want some. Oh, perfect. Someone unsubscribed. Nice. That works. All right. So I need two more. I don't want to be on 666. All right. I'm not superstitious, but I just thought that was funny. Anywho, yeah, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Have a good day. Try not to get too emotional about the war. Just keep your head on your shoulders. Don't take sides. Just be discerning. Have a clear mind, and love your neighbor. Good night and good luck.